Everyone, who you are, and then we get to
Okay, my name is Louis Jr. Tshakoane, and I'm originally from Johannesburg.
Yeah. Yes. Then your upbringing, where were you born?
Yeah.
Where
I
did you go to
was
school, things like that?
I was born in Florence Nightingale Hospital in Johannesburg. The hospital is no longer functioning, but in 1989, on the 4th of August, I was born in Johannesburg. I was raised in Johannesburg until the ages of about 5 or 6, until I moved to the East Rand, to Kempton Park. And then I attended Norcom Park Pre-Primary School. And then I moved to Norcom Primary. Then from there, I moved to Eden Glen High School in Edenvale, in the East Rand. Yeah, so I grew up in the East Rand, in a mixed race community. So we were. I don't consider myself a born free, because I wasn't born after 1994. But I was born during that era where, we were beginning to get integrated with multiple races. So all my friends that I grew up with were Indian, colored, white, black. So it was a nice mix. We didn't know this thing of apartheid.
Yeah.
So we are the new generation,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then during your schooling years, when you were obviously in high school, both is out buying. I mean, most of the children would say, I know that time it was common to be a boy, a doctor, stuff like that, or a teacher.
Yeah. I wanted to be a businessman.
Yeah.
But before I wanted to be a businessman, I thought I was going to play soccer. Yeah, because I come from a sports background. In terms of my father, he works in sports and soccer, and he was marketing director for Kaizer Chiefs for 35 years and 10 years at Bafana Bafana as a manager.
Yeah.
So I used to go to the stadium all the time, and then obviously at school during break time would play soccer. Then I used to play for the school teams, and I was really good because my position was left wing. And then eventually I realized that soccer is too competitive. By the time I got to high school, I had to make a decision on whether or not I was going to continue playing soccer full time, because I used to also play club soccer at Kempton Park Football Club. And then I realized that it's either I'm going to choose to stick on soccer, or I'm going to choose to go into something else like business, something more intellectual. So, like the likes of George Maluleka, who's now playing for Kaizer Chiefs, I used to play with him in the same soccer team at Kempton Park. So, I mean, I was really good. I mean, I used to feed the ball to him all the time in order for him to score goals. But we won a lot of league championships and a lot of cups during those times. So, I was really good at playing soccer. But I realized that I'm not good enough to maybe get onto the international level. Then I knew that, okay, if there's one thing that I can do really, really well, maybe that a lot of kids are not focusing on now, is business. And there was an entrepreneur, I used to read his books. His name is Sir Richard Branson. He wrote the book Screw It, Let's Do It. And he wrote the book Losing My Virginity. And he's well known for owning the Virgin group of companies like Virgin Active, Virgin Mobile, and Virgin Hotels, etc. So he owns over 400 companies under the Virgin umbrella. And I was very inspired by his story, because he wasn't more like a traditional businessman who wears a suit every day. He was this guy who was a free-spirited guy who basically owns his own island. He owns a gym, and he's more about health and fitness and wealth, and he's very fun and outgoing and humble at the same time. So I liked what I saw in him, and I liked, after reading his books, I learned a lot about business. I learned a lot, and then I realized that, okay, if I want to go into business, this is the kind of business person I want to be. Someone who's going to own their own business, but not be too formal and not be too commercial. but be more of bringing the fun in the business. So Richard Branson's like to say one thing, he says, do good, have fun, and the money will come. Okay. That's one of my favorite quotes from him. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then you're talking of business. What kind of business are you into?
Well, I'll go back to when I started. I mean, I was speaking to you about Richard Branson now. I loved Richard Branson so much that there was a time when I decided I'm going to write him a letter. So I wrote a letter to him at the age of 15. I was about in grade 10 at the time in Eden Glen High. I wrote a letter to him because my father was in sports, so he knew a few people that could get to the letter to him. So when I wrote the letter, I said, you know, I don't want to do a traditional business in a sense of just making business just to make money. I wanted to go into business for the sake of helping people, you know, have a social responsibility, you know, and I believe that is the responsibility of every business person, is to identify a gap in the market and then take advantage of that gap and service that gap, but also do it to actually solve a problem or provide a solution to the community or provide a solution to the country. So business is about solving problems, you know, and helping people. So when I created that letter, I wrote that letter and I said to Sir Richard Branson, I said, no, listen, I want you to help the previously disadvantaged youth of a township where I used to live close by. I don't come from a really poor background. I come from an average family where my parents were both working really, really hard, 9 to 5. But I realized that my grandmother and my grandfather were staying in Tembisa, which is a previously disadvantaged township where 2 million people, more than 2 million people live below the poverty line. And you know, I wanted to do something that is business oriented but can help people in terms of the youth of South Africa. The youth of South Africa to get off the streets, to get off the drugs, the substance abuse, the alcohol, to stop doing criminal activities, people who come from abused families, to have something that will make them forget about, you know, the tough background that they have. So I wrote a letter to Branson and I said, I want to help the youth to own their own gym. And the name of the gym would be called Butu Gym. And Butu meaning, you know, unity, and you know that thing where they say, they say, so Ubuntu is that thing that we have as Africans, where we care for one another. And then I wrote that letter, and the letter got to Mr. Branson. He loved the letter so much that he decided to give me 2 million rand worth of gym equipment and 500,000 rand in cash to renovate the venue that I found. Because the equipment, I wrote it in such a way that I said, no, you don't have to use your money to buy new equipment. Just give us equipment from one of your gyms that you no longer use. Because I realized when I inquired and I did my research about Virgin Active is that on a regular basis, they replenish the equipment. And the other equipment goes to storage. And it just sits there. So I said, no, give us equipment that you are not using so that they can be empowered. And I was even more impressed the fact that he loved the letter so much that he came even to the launch of the gym in 2007, in October, on the 26th. He came with his wife, and he came with his mother and his father, and he came with his children. And I got to meet him. He's a very humble guy. And I mean, it was like meeting your role model, you know. And I was very, you know, impressed that at the age of 16, I was a millionaire. You understand? By him donating and sponsoring that equipment to me, it made me a millionaire. And I was able to run my own business. And that's why I always say, never underestimate the power of words and never underestimate the power of writing. That just by me writing a letter to a billionaire in pounds, I was able to touch his heart to the extent whereby he was able to sponsor me with 2 million rand worth of gym equipment and to fund the gym. So the gym was running from 2006. We're in 2019 now.
Yeah.
So the deal that I had with Mr. Branson was that he would sponsor the equipment to me. And the gym was not per se a for-profit business. It was just a business which would be to bring light to the community and for him to pay a visit to the community. And for 2 years, we were to run the gym. as a non-profit organization. So whatever money was made was to just pay the expenses of the business. And the deal was that if I run it successfully for those 2 years, I would basically get ownership of the equipment, and then I could do whatever I want. I could choose to run it as a profitable business afterwards, or I could choose to sell the equipment and do something. So at the time where I was running the gym, I discovered a company in Bryanston in Sandton called Investment Cars and Lamborghini Johannesburg, and I wanted to work for them because everyone loves Lamborghinis, especially us boys. We love Lamborghinis because they're fast cars and they're exclusive. So I wanted to sell Lamborghinis, and I went to the showroom in Lamborghini Johannesburg on William Nicol Drive, and I met a man who was the general manager there called Mr. Grant Anderson. And Mr. Grant Anderson, I told him about my story because one of the things that Mr. Branson told me was that if there's one thing that he has blessed me with, is not necessarily the equipment, but he has blessed me with his name. That he said, go out there and use my name to open doors for yourself. Okay. So when I went out there, I told people my story that I'd worked with Richard Branson, and Mr. Anderson loved that concept and the fact that I own my own business, my own gym. And then I said, listen, I can attract people to buy your vehicles. And he said, no problem. I mean, any business will be open to someone bringing new customers. So what I did is, my father had met a lot of people in his career. And he had about over 1,000 to 2,000 business cards in the house that I used to go through, and it was really, really powerful people, the likes of Mr. Patrice Motsepe, your Robert Gumete, your Ndabanseles. These were people who were very, very influential in business. Successful African business people were within reach to me because I had access to their cell phone numbers. I knew which companies they were running. So I'd do the research, I'd go on their websites and check. And I discovered that I could obviously entice these people to buy these exclusive cars. And I used to always pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, my name is Louis Jr., I'm the son of so-and-so. I'm interested in selling you a vehicle. Can you come and test drive a vehicle? So once I had set up the relationship as a marketing intern at Lamborghini Johannesburg and Investment Cars, I was able to start my own business apart from the gym. And then we used to organize these things called supercar days, where these millionaires, they from Sandton and around the Johannesburg area would be able to bring their car on a weekend, and then they would have a business networking session. So Mr. Anderson, he tasked me with the event, to organize this event of a supercar day. And one of the sponsors that we attracted was a Swiss bank called UBS. And it's the biggest Swiss bank in the world. And they focus on private wealth management for really, really successful people. So as I was going through inviting people to buy cars, I was able to earn a commission. So I was able to make money because my business wasn't necessarily, from the gym side, wasn't necessarily a for-profit business. And at the same time, I was still in high school. So I had a lot of responsibilities. I decided, no, listen, let me focus on marketing these cars. But the sponsor, which was the Swiss bank, they loved the idea of bringing successful people, and they saw the kind of people that I invited there. And they were like, no, listen, we're looking at bringing an office into Sandton and opening a proper branch here in South Africa for UBS. And can you help us also work for us and, leave these guys at Lamborghini and come and work for us and intern at us? Because obviously we can give you a better offer. And they were not paying me a salary. They were paying me a commission for every time I brought a client who banked X amount of money. But when I started introducing clients to UBS, I discovered that on the bank statements that I used to review before I meet my clients and advise them on whether to increase their investments in certain things, I discovered this thing that was called Forex. So there was this thing called Forex where they could just put their money there and then the money would grow. So the bank would trade the money for them because the bank was licensed to trade on their behalf. So when I started seeing the returns on this, traditionally I know that a bank can give you between 4 to 8% per annum. on a traditional fixed deposit investment. And when I discovered that this Forex thing was able to generate between 20 to 100% in trades at any given time, depending on the risk appetite of the client, I discovered that there's something different about this thing. So I said, I want to also participate in this. So I decided that with the gym equipment that I had, I took half of the gym equipment. I took 1 million rand of the gym equipment and I sold it to another gym. And I took the money and I invested it in a Forex account. And I started trading Forex. And I started making really good money in the beginning. And I made losses. And I discovered that, I started living in Sandton at the time when I started living a very fast life. And I discovered that, money is not everything. That is when I discovered God and I discovered Jesus through my mother. My mother invited me to go to church one time. Obviously, we used to go to church growing up, but we weren't really told about what is the power of Christ and what does it mean to be saved and all that stuff. So when I started getting into puberty at around the age of 18, when I started working at UBS, an interesting fact, I had to wait a week before I started working at UBS because I was 17 at the time. And I had to wait until I turned 18 in order to sign the contract to start working formally with UBS. So it was a very interesting thing because I was able to achieve success very early on in my life because I was so driven and ambitious. And at the time, when I was starting to work for these companies, the financial situation in the house where I was living, my parents were going through a rough patch. So I found it in myself that I need to show an interest in order to become a breadwinner in the house as well, to support my mother and my father, not that they can always just expect money to come from themselves, but also from their children, because I believe that they invested in my education and that I need to obviously pay it back forward. So it is a very nice thing that I experienced in the form of discovering Forex while working at the Swiss bank. So I was really smart in the beginning. I didn't take all the money and trade it for myself because obviously I had to learn how to trade. So I started downloading and buying books online about Forex, and also there was a Forex department in the bank where I would learn certain secrets on how the bank grows their money. And that was a very big privilege. But I took some of the money, which I was investing, like half of it, and I put it into a more secured investment around Forex in the bank. So it was like a minimum risk account. And then the one that I was trading was like one where I was flexible. I was like not holding back. Because I'm a quick learner, I'm a fast learner. I was able to pick up that, this thing of Forex is kind of like something that I was born to do. So once I started making good money with it, I started buying nice cars and all that other stuff and living a comfortable life. But also I saw that there was a big need and a desire for other people to also learn this thing called Forex. So we were some of the first people, myself and other traders that were introduced Forex into the black community. So we also discovered that the South African market was really interested in this thing called Forex and trading on their phones and trading on their laptops. So it was something whereby you would get also requests from people to say, listen, are you teaching anyone how to trade and whatever? So we would also do like small classes where people would do that, because it was easy for me to also make some small pocket money on the side for small expenses like petrol and all that other stuff. So it was really good, and it's fulfilling to teach someone something new, because when I look at myself and my parents, where when I grew up, my parents didn't know anything about trading. They didn't know anything about being self-employed. All they knew and how they were raised by the system is you go to school, you get an education, and then you go and you get a job. So I come from a family whereby my parents encouraged me to do whatever I set my mind to. And my parents, not once have I ever heard them say, don't do that kind of business. And even no matter how risky it was, I never used my parents' money or someone else's money to trade my own money. I found that God sponsored me through Richard Branson, and I was able to take the money that I had made in order to trade my own accounts and then basically to maintain my lifestyle. First and foremost, the company that I'm running is called Forex Millionaires, and the brand that I created around that is to assist people in becoming millionaires in Forex. Because honestly, there's no limit to how much money you can make with Forex. Most people, they misunderstand the idea of Forex in a sense that they think that they can immediately make millions without any risk. Forex is a very, 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 very risky business. I always advise people to first get some sort of knowledge before they trade in Forex market, because Forex market is a $6 trillion a day market, and the market, it basically involves people exchanging one currency for another currency. So it's a similar idea to like saying if you're going on vacation to the Bahamas, for instance, and in the Bahamas they use the dollar. And if you book your flights and you go to the airport and you need to go, and you're from South Africa, you need to go to the Bahamas, you need to exchange your rands that you want to spend in the Bahamas and convert them into dollars. The equivalent value of those rands will be converted by the bureau, the Forex bureau, in order for you to get those dollars. And then when you get to the Bahamas, you'll be able to obviously enjoy as a tourist. You'll go to tourist destinations and pay for the bus fare, pay for the hotel, pay for food, pay for all those things using dollars. But then in the event that you come back, you might find that the dollar actually became stronger against the rand. And that when you come back, you didn't spend all your dollars. And then when you come back, you find yourself coming back to the OR Tambo International Airport and going back to the same bureau in order to exchange the value of those dollars back into rands. And when you get those rands, you'll find that you might even get more for those rands, or more rands back, because the fact that dollar became stronger, or if the dollar became weaker. So if the dollar became weaker, you would get obviously less rands. But if the dollar became weaker, you get more rands. If the dollar became stronger, you would get less rands. So it depends on the exchange rate. So what happens is that retail forex trading happens on a platform on your phone called MT4. An MT4 trader is not the only platform, but it's the most popular platform. And you can obviously, as long as you've got a cell phone and the internet, you can access the retail forex market through a regulated broker that has an FSB license or an FSCA license. And that license basically enables the broker to accept your money in the form of a deposit. And obviously you can then access the market through a liquidity platform. And a liquidity provider is a banking institution like JP Morgan or Citibank, which plugs into the financial market and trades massive amounts of dollars and rands against other currencies. So I don't know if you've seen, most banks now, they provide the ability for you to exchange money. So you can also trade against the banks. And that's a very powerful opportunity, because the little guy who's on the street, whether he's a student, whether he's working a 9 to 5 somewhere, whether he's a businessman, he can also register a broker account and fund his account with the relevant amount of money he has. And then he trades his own money. But before you trade, it's important for you to find a mentor. You understand? You cannot say you're going to Cape Town, but you've never been to Cape Town.
Yeah.
You understand? You need to go find someone who's been to Cape Town, who knows the shortest distance to Cape Town, the safest route to Cape Town, in order for you to get there safely and arrive there in the quickest time. So the same thing applies with Forex. If you want to be successful with Forex, you need to find yourself someone who's successful in Forex, who can teach you on what you must be careful of, the risks that are involved. And then that can assist you. They must teach you the trading strategies that they use on a daily basis. For instance, I use a strategy where I try and achieve a percent of profit on my account, a trading profit of 4% per day. And if you had, even if you had a $500 account, if you were consistent at maintaining 4% per day on a trading account, you can become a millionaire in dollars within a 365-day period. And hence my book, Forex Millionaire in 365 Days. I've created a formula, one that works and one that I've tried and one that has worked for me, in order to assist the average person who has discipline to apply the relevant skills. Remember, Forex is a profession. Forex trading is a profession. It's not something which is just casual. You understand? It's very difficult to trade Forex. It's not just for anyone. It's for people who know how to manage risk. There's an element of Forex that we call money management that you must be able to apply. There's something called portfolio management. Exposing X amount of your account to X amount of risk. So when you don't have anyone teaching you, it's very easy for you to just walk onto a counter, deposit money, and lose all your money in one day. You understand what I mean? So it's very important for you to also start trading Forex with money that you can afford to lose. Don't take money from someone else or take a loan from the bank and go and trade Forex. That is not a wise decision. The wise decision is to say that extra pocket money, that extra money you have in your savings account, that you don't need to pay your rent with it, you don't need to pay your school fees with it, you just need to, save it. You understand? You're just saying to yourself, listen, you know what, let me take my risk, because money is also not 100% safe when you're just saving it, because in the event of an emergency, you might have to use all your savings. So money needs to be invested. The same way the Bible says, invest your money in foreign places, in different places. You don't know where your prosperity will lie. So it's the same thing with Forex. When you're trading different currencies, one currency can give you a loss, the currency pair, and the other currency pair can give you a profit. So if you're trading maybe the euro against the dollar, you might get a good profit on that day. And then if it gives you a good profit, doesn't mean that even tomorrow it's going to be guaranteed. In Forex, there are no guarantees. So there's no guaranteed return on investment with Forex, because why? The return that you get or the profit that you make on your trading is dependent of the time that you entered the market and the time that you exited the market.
Okay. Lastly, let's just talk a little bit more about the book.
Yeah.
Why should someone who's never traded before get this book? What's special about this book? What's different about it? Because I know some actually, because some traders have released books. What's different about this one? I understand you said there's a secret which, if you follow, please 360, which is a year, it can really work for you. You can be a millionaire come 365. I just want to know what's so special about the book, and how long have you been working on the book, and are the things that are on the book things that you've tried? I read you did mention that most of the things was trial when before, because in my about things you don't
exactly. So the wonderful thing about Forex is that as long as you're willing to learn, you can achieve whatever you set your mind to. But I like to always paint this picture whenever I describe Forex. I take Forex like it's karate. When you start karate, you don't start off with a black belt. You will probably start off with a brown belt, a pink belt, or an orange belt. It's a process. Forex trading is a process. You don't become a millionaire overnight. You understand? It's not an overnight thing. Remember, when I say Forex millionaire in 365 days, I'm not guaranteeing people that they will become millionaires in 365 days. I'm not promising anyone that they'll become a millionaire. It is a goal that you can set for yourself. I've achieved that kind of success in trading Forex and made millions with Forex as a result of trading, but it requires X amount of discipline. The same way they will tell you that in order for you to become a black belt in karate, it will take you a minimum of 8 to 15 years. And I've been trading Forex for over 10 years. So I've traded Forex since the age of 18, and now I'm 30 years old. So I'm an experienced Forex trader who's made a lot of money on the market and also lost a lot of money on the market. On a typical day, I can lose 100 to 200 to 300,000 rand. And you need to have an emotional tolerance and emotional intelligence when you're trading Forex. You mustn't be emotionally connected to the money. You must trade Forex so that you can get the performance, the results, and you meet your targets, and then you get out the market. They even say this: Forex is like a casino. It's like a gambling. It's professional gambling. You need to know that Forex can be also addictive. You can end up taking all your money and putting it in Forex and lose all of it. And the people who are the most successful Forex traders that I've ever seen are people who've lost a lot of money on the market and never gave up. And the time that they didn't give up, they came back into the market and they made millions. So Forex is about practicing a skill, and when I wrote my book, what makes my book different is that my book covers the three main strategies that are used in trading Forex. They are called fundamental strategy, technical analysis, and it's called sentimental analysis. So fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and sentimental analysis. And those three strategies are covered in my book. And I focus a lot more on the technical analysis, which is the very popular way that people are trading. But in my personal trading capacity, I trade more fundamental analysis. And fundamental analysis is when you're trading based on the news that are coming out, economic news, like when a country is like America releases the unemployment rate, which is normally called the NFP. And that is the biggest trading event that takes place on the first Friday of every month. And that is a powerful way of trading, because that also supplements what we call sentimental trading. And sentimental trading is trading according to the trend of the market. So the overall direction of the market will generally determine where the market is going. And if you generally move with the wave, you're going to ride the wave. But if you go against the wave, you can lose. So that is sentimental. And technical analysis is when you analyze the charts, and you analyze the charts based on various time frames. So you get a different time frame, like a 1 minute time frame, a 5 minute time frame, a 15 minute time frame, a 30 minute time frame, a 1 hour time frame, a 4 hour time frame, a 1 day time frame, a 1 week time frame, and a 1 month time frame. So you can either do short term trading, medium term trading, or long term trading. And I cover all of those things inside my book. And it's very important for you to learn the strategies of someone who's what I call myself a master Forex trader. Because if you've been able to make millions in Forex, that means you know what you're doing. In this business, you're not successful because you got a certificate from some college. In this business, you are successful. The measuring stick of success in Forex is how much money have you made in Forex. Yeah. And that's what I think attracts a lot of South African people, a lot of African people. I have over 1 million followers on social media around the world, simply because I'm a Forex trader. And that's how big retail Forex trading is. A lot of people are looking for a mentor, and I run a trading group where I provide fee signals as well on Telegram with over 8,000 traders from around the world who have bought my book and who have bought my signals. And signals are basically the ability for you to subscribe to when I enter the market and when I exit the market. So when you know someone successful is entering the market, more likely if you also enter the market, if they make a profit, you make a profit. But also when they make a loss, you make a loss. So there are no guarantees. So Forex is a powerful tool to alleviate poverty. And I believe that in the next coming 5 to 10 years, Forex will become more respected in South Africa and Africa, and it will be more of a professional career choice for young people who come from previously disadvantaged backgrounds, who come from poor families, who can take their families out of poverty. And that's why I wrote my book. I wrote my book so that it can empower young people to alleviate poverty in Africa and to generate income. Because remember, Forex money is just sitting in the air, and it's just being traded like every day by various countries. And it doesn't matter how much money you enter in the market with, because there's something called leverage. And the leverage means that if for every dollar that you put in the market, you can leverage up to 1,000 times in the market. So that's how you can actually make millions with Forex. So if I put $10,000, I can actually trade to the value of $1 million. So that is the power. But remember, if I lose as well, I can lose everything. So it's only the odds are on your side as a trader, because you only can risk up to what you have in the account. But the banks that you're trading against, they have billions that you can make money from. So it's what we call a wealth transfer. And we believe that Forex can provide a lot of opportunities for young people. But before you trade, you need to know the skills. You need to have someone who can teach you. And the book is just an awesome resource for people to use and to learn how to trade Forex.
How much is the book, and where can people find the book?
Okay, well, I'm very proud of the book in the sense that it took me only about 3 to 6 months to write the book. And I wrote the book, at a time where I felt like a lot of people were asking me a lot of questions in terms of, can you come and teach us Forex? And I'm a very busy person. I trade most of the time, most of the day. Even right now on my phone, I've got trades running. So I don't really have much time to travel the whole world and go and teach people. Where I visit at times, that is because of the grace of God that He gives me. But then most of the time, I wanted to create an opportunity that even if I can't go to a particular area, someone can order a book online and learn exactly what I would teach them face to face. So the book, before I actually launched it, there were 2,000 people who had already ordered the book before I launched it. So I announced it on my Instagram, my Facebook, and over 2,000 people had already pre-ordered the book and paid for the book before it came out. And the book is selling for 1,000 Rand a copy. And the reason why I've made it so expensive is because I know the value of the information that I've put in there. This is literally a formula that you can use. Obviously, it's not guaranteed. It's based on whether you apply the formula. You need to basically apply the formula exactly the way it says in the book, and you can achieve. It doesn't even have to be millions. It can be hundreds of thousands of rands or hundreds of dollars, as long as it makes you a profit. And I've got over 1,000 testimonies of people who've actually read the book and made profits with the book, and that proves that the formula works. And I believe that I'm going to be getting a lot more testimonies of people who've actually become millionaires with the book. And I actually have one of my clients who's already become a millionaire from the book, and he read the book and he traded and he made millions. So the book is 1,000 Rand or about 70 US dollars. And most of my clientele actually are outside of South Africa, outside of Africa, because there's a lot of demand for real Forex trading knowledge. And currently the book is the best-selling Forex book in Africa. And if you want to buy the book, you can go to forexmillionaires.co, and that is where you can order the book and make a payment. You can pay in a variety of ways. Yeah.
Okay. And then how can people get hold of Forex Millionaire? Do you have a contact? Do you have social media handles, stuff like that? Yeah.
Well, they can send an email at deltaforex.co@gmail. Okay, and they can also send or go online and visit our website, www.forexmillionaires.co.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. God bless. Ciao.